The town manager's open letter, released to the public earlier this week, addressed the efforts to restore trust in the Arlington Police Department in wake of Lieutenant Richard Pedrini's writings in a police periodical in 2018. It all started last October in the Massachusetts Police Association's magazine, The Sentinel. Pedrini wrote, among other things, "Let's stop lip-syncing, please. Let's beat violence with violence and get the job done." Adam Chapdelaine says even though the lieutenant has been back on the force since April the 14th after successfully completing the restorative justice process, the town manager felt compelled to give the public an update.
I had people coming to me really expressing a desire for there to be more information in the community. There's a petition going around town expressing concern about the matter and Lieutenant Pedrini. So the combination of those things pushed me towards feeling like I needed to share more with the community about the process than what we had shared back in March and April. And that's ultimately the impetus for putting the letter together.
In the letter, Chapdelaine relayed his concerns about the legal process in such cases like an outright firing, mainly the right of public sector employees to take disputes about discipline to a third-party arbitrator, and that Chapdelaine explains, "I came to the conclusion that there was a significant risk that a termination would not be upheld by a third-party arbitrator. This risk, in my opinion, created a path to what I believe would have been the worst-case scenario for the town, a terminated police lieutenant being returned to work by an arbitrator's decision, both vindicated and non-repentant, and a community left without an opportunity to heal." Instead, in this letter, Adam Chapdelaine outlines how town leaders carefully chose to employ the restorative justice process with Lieutenant Pedrini. Chapdelaine says it was a chance for him to tackle this very sensitive issue head-on, requiring Lieutenant Pedrini to face those representatives of those communities who he harmed with his words. It would also open up a broader dialogue about race and policing as a whole. It would certainly be a novel use of the restorative justice process. Clearly, in this case, Arlington would be breaking new ground.
Right from the start, this has been a very challenging issue. From the day that his writings became public and I learned about them, I knew that there was really going to be no good way out of this, or no way where everybody would be happy, which is the reality of the world sometimes, especially in complicated matters of employment and law. So, yeah, I suppose I'm not surprised. I mean, I think people's concerns are valid. What he wrote was completely unacceptable, so I don't dismiss any concerns at all. I think where there may be some disagreements in the community is about the path that we followed.
Chapdelaine tells me that the town chose a restorative justice process that was well thought out. He readily admits it's not perfect, but given the extraordinary circumstances surrounding this particular case, this was the best path to take for this town to get through this ugly period. He says it's a procedure that he believes in, and quite obviously, it's a process that the Arlington police force stakes its own reputation on.
At this point, I certainly have no intention of backing out of it. We went through the process. Lieutenant Pedrini served, his time, so to speak, as part of the restorative agreement. The remaining steps to be taken are further engagement with the community, which we outlined in the letter we're very willing to do and understand that is important for us to do. And frankly, it's engagement that even if this had never happened, we should be doing with the community.
To date, Lieutenant Pedrini has issued a public apology and served his suspension. Still, there are some residents here who are not too happy with the method that Adam Chapdelaine and town leaders chose to employ. Chapdelaine says he understands that and looks forward to more dialogue in what has been a very trying few months for all the parties involved. Still, Lieutenant Pedrini, after successfully facing the music, is back on the force.
As far as I'm concerned, on the employment matter, the case is closed. On the community dialogue, case is very much open. But on his status and his employment, that is a case closed.
For ACMi News, I'm Jeff Barnes.